minutes to come on in because I just sent out the email. It's been a crazy morning, a good morning, but a crazy morning. So come on in, say good morning, let me know where you are from, and we will go from there. And of course, we are starting off with we can't see anything. All right. Everyone could see me when I was testing. Can anyone else see? All right. Let me know because we are started. All right, guys. So today I am super excited. I have 3 super talented designers, Amanda Allan, CeCe Todd, and Eddie Zaratsian. Guys, it's going to be a blast. Already our little pre-show talk was awesome. Lots of laughing, lots of sharing. It's going to be good. They're going to be joining our kind of serious COVID-19 discussion that we've been having over the last few weeks. They're going to be sharing their experiences, their perspective, and their advice, all for you guys. So it should be great. Good morning, Isabel from LA, Allie. Yep, we started a couple minutes late where we had some technical difficulties, but we're all good now. And we decided to do those technical difficulties off camera instead of on for all of you guys to just laugh at us. Kathy, good morning. How are you? All right, keep it coming, keep it coming. Also, I wanted to let you guys know, if you're new to this show, be sure to post your questions or your comments in the comment section below. If we have time, we will definitely get to them. We all love reading them. We all see them as we're streaming live. So keep those fingers going on that keyboard. Also wanted to let you know that I post the replay and a podcast and our show notes all on the blog as soon as I possibly can do that. So not sure if I'll get to it today because as you'll find out in a second here, I have a lot of announcements to make, but hopefully by tomorrow. Also, the Facebook Live replay will be available right away. I think it takes like a few minutes for it to like process and then it's good to go. I also wanted to make sure that if you guys aren't already on our email list, that you get that going because that way you stay up to date with all of our news. Any kind of new videos that we have up, which by the way, we're a little bit behind, but our new April video with Anthony is going to be coming soon, hopefully by the end of the week. And then just knowing about our mornings with Mayesh, any Mayesh news. I know everything's kind of changing in our world and everything's kind of like minute by minute, day by day. So great way to stay connected with us. Hey, Tracy from Omaha, how are you? Okay, so my news and I'm probably going to bring it up at the end of the thing, but I just wanted to let you guys know, I don't know if you tuned in to last week when I had Martin on from Easy Flower. He's in the Netherlands. He was talking about how things are starting to pick up. And we've been shipping out of our LAX, and also we opened up our e-commerce site. So that way we're shipping out of Miami, like the full box lots. So bunches out of California, full box lots out of our Miami facility, and things have been slowly, but it's there. So there's demand. We're trying to help out our customers. And with that said, we are slowly opening up our branches. So I'm really, really excited to let you guys know that we're going to be opening up Phoenix, Detroit, Charlotte, Houston, and Cleveland starting on Monday. I'm getting those emails ready for any of you customers that are listening, sending out the details. So I'm just really excited. I want you guys to be the first to know. So stay tuned for that. And again, another reason, if you're not registered as a Mayesh customer, to get on that, right? Let's be friends. All right. So I have a packed show, guys. So much to cover, a lot. I know we'll probably go over an hour. So if you're here for an hour, great. If you have to leave early, again, no big deal. We are going to, we'll be here and you'll have the replay. Sound good? All right. So let me bring everyone on. Here is CeCe and here is Amanda. And let me expand so I can bring on Eddie. And there we are. Hey, guys. Hi. How's everyone doing?
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning. So before we get started, I love this. Do you guys like this view where it's like this, or you like the wider view?
I wanted to be in the middle with the ladies, but that's okay.
I love it. So before we get started, I want to just go down the line and just so that way you guys can tell everyone a little bit about yourselves, a little bit about your flower story, how you got into this crazy business, and then we'll get into the meat of the discussion. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And let's go like in order of my screens. So CeCe, let's start with you.
What's up, guys? So I am CeCe with CeCe Designs and Events out of Birmingham, Alabama. And yes, we are so much more than gun racks, pickup trucks, and rebel flags. I promise. And I am a wedding and special event floral design company. We don't do like daily orders, even though I have a flower shop background. We are all about all the things, all the events, all the extra, over the top, flamboyant, all the people that want all the things. That's my ideal client. We teeter in kind of what I call the luxury market or the high end market. That's kind of our sweet spot. And I have only been in business. This is our 7th anniversary. I used to be I'm old enough that when I tell you how many years I've been in the floral industry, it's been 20 something years. It tells you a little bit about my age. And my first career I was a singer. And y'all can tell how that panned out because I'm here today talking to y'all about flowers. So it didn't work out so well for me. But I love what I do. I'm a speaker, educator, travel all over the world, do all the things, queen of live, you name it, jack of all trades.
Love it. Well, welcome, CeCe, and congrats on 7 years.
Thanks.
Yeah. Amanda, how about you?
Hi, I'm Amanda Allan. I own MMD Events, and I've been in business of just about 15 years with my husband. We are a full event design and decor company. We do have just like CeCe, we have our in-house floral designers. I'm one of those, but we are not a shop. We do not do any kind of dailies, no deliveries. And we really don't specialize in small events at all. We're in that middle to luxury market. We kind of say we don't have minimums. We just have places where we'll start our work. And if you can meet us there, we'll see you. So we're really upfront with our clients and our potential clients, and we love it. We've been clients of Mayesh's for over 10 years now. I met Charity and Yvonne and Jen and Lindsay all at Cater Source Event Solutions, which is just OG.
Right.
Totally. To speak there with Yvonne. I know I'm like, I told Yvonne the other day, I was like, there's no one spot where we're kind of all meeting each other anymore. And we miss that summer camp feel that we used to have in Vegas, which was like a heck of a summer camp. Pre-children, I used to tear one on with these girls there, and we would have a fun time. So we love Mayesh. I just remember the first time I ever found Charity in a booth, and all the blooms that I found there, my world was just completely rocked. And I just remember thinking, like, I finally know where Martha Stewart gets all of her shit. And so there's one for my crew who's waiting on the over-under of when I'm going to swear. Love it. But I was hooked ever since. Just seeing that product and getting my little hands on it. And in those kind of early days, I used to just order it in to look at it. And it was just the thrill of my life when I started getting clients who wanted to play with it too. And so I'm just really committed to being there for Mayesh in this time. They've always been there for us and for our clients. And I'm happy to be here today. That's it.
Thank you. I know we go back. It's been a while. We need to do a little reunion in Vegas.
We do.
Yeah. Eddie, how about you?
Hi, everyone.
Welcome.
It's Eddie Zaratsian. CeCe, you're so dramatic as you did your whole presentation. I'm like, how the hell am I going to be able to top that little sassy thing, right? So
I bet you will.
And it's so cute because we were having such a good time this morning before we got on live. Anyways, my name is Eddie Zaratsian. I'm based out of Los Angeles. I own my event design company, and I do have a retail location that is my other brand, TikTok Couture Florals, as everybody knows. So they're two separate companies. Of course, I run both of them. TikTok is more the retail and everyday orders and doing the corporate stuff, meaning like the daily corporate uh, deliveries and stuff and accounts. And Eddie Zaratsian is the more overall general brand that we do. We don't do rentals, but we have props and accessories that we have in my warehouse, that I have my design studios, and people come and have this amazing experience. And I have a choice whether I use my company to produce my sister company to produce the florals if they're based out of LA, or I can take my business anywhere else. So I have that luxury of not, even though from the floral designer aspect, I mean, I can touch anything and make it into gold like you ladies can, because we're all creative people. But I just took my company to another level that I didn't want to be in the space where I was making flowers every day, even though I love flowers, because my imagination and what I dream is quite bigger than just the floral elements. I really like to get my hands on like how the music's going to be played and what the food tastes like. And I don't plan. I'm not a planner, and I've always said this, and I never will be a planner. I'm good at what I do, and I just want to walk into the space and I want to wow my clients, whether it is you know something for Oprah Winfrey that I've done, to, a party for 2,000 people for guests, to an Hermes party in Hawaii, to luxurious weddings in Los Angeles, like all of us have done, right? So I've been very blessed. I've been doing this for 32 years. So I just gave you guys I just gave it away. Yeah.
Go,
Uh,
Eddie.
and I was telling Yvonne this morning, I was like, I need Botox.
No.
It's running out. It's running
Stop.
out. And Amanda's like, and Yvonne's like, wrinkles are natural progression of age. I said, darling, I said, I'm on camera. I need to look fabulous. I've got to have to be eye candy. So, anyways,
No.
so that's a little bit about me. I'm sure there's a lot of the audience knows who I am and what we all have accomplished together, right, in this business, like
Yeah.
all of us together, and we've pushed forward, and now we're having to deal with this. And I love flowers because it makes people happy. The two things that I say: food is good for the soul. The food is good for the stomach, and flowers are good for the soul, right? So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
people need to live like that.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that is a perfect segue for my first question. And Amanda, at the start of this crisis, right, we're dealing with this crazy COVID crisis. You really caught my attention because of how the Tampa event professionals came together immediately. You guys got together, you talked about the issues, you talked about potential steps. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of time to talk about that experience for you and share that with our audience.
Sure. Yeah. So I can't take credit for calling the gathering. I was actually in the Bahamas finishing up a wedding with Tracy Domino at the Four Seasons, wondering if I was going to be able to get home to my family. Kind of having a little freak out as I literally watched every piece of business through September 25th cancel. I think that the lobby music in the Bahamas will be forever kind of my nightmare sound, because I just sat in that lobby Wi-Fi just watching galas cancel, and it was pretty horrendous. And when I got home, a local caterer who I'm really close with, who does consulting all over the country, he said, guys, we need to get together. We need to be face to face. Can we come sit in your loading dock? We'll get the open air on us. Of course, we knew like nothing about coronavirus barely at that time.
Yeah.
He's like, we'll just come sit in your loading dock, and whoever wants to come will come. And we'll just kind of talk about our business practices and how we're going to support each other through this by having some kind of cohesive, actionable piece. So we sat down that morning. I think it was the Tuesday morning after I got back. And And Dennis Kwan was like, what are you doing gathering together? And I was like, I don't know what's going on. And so we got together and we just talked about what were we going to say when clients say, I want all my money back, even though, you know, I paid you last year and my event was about to happen next week. And what were we going to say to our clients and what were we going to say to the world? And honestly, things got a lot more frightening after that week. That was mid-March, and we had seen our businesses disintegrate, but we weren't truly understanding kind of the impacts on the United States and deeper businesses. We weren't quite in any kind of stay-at-home situation then, but we were really starting to feel it. And my husband's business, my husband has a second business, and he's involved with a lot of lobbyists. And the number one thing he kept on saying is look, hospitality workers are going to be at the forefront of being taken care of by the United States government. And we are widely ignored as people in the hospitality industry. You know, they're going to take care of airlines and hotels and bars and restaurants and convention centers, but we support a lot of industry. And, you know, he said, we need to make sure we're noticed. And so we kind of talked about how we just needed to be waving from the back and really, you know, calling attention to ourselves. So I left that meeting and I said to my team, I said, we have a huge responsibility as event producers to illuminate all the other companies that work with us on these events. You know, everything from our flatware and specialty dish providers to different lighting companies we use, to the 8 linen companies that are present, the mom and pop charger people, the one guy who does every dance floor that shows up every time and lays whatever vinyl we want. I mean, even the guy who just has our stage, who comes and does our 3-foot stage, our every size stage. We have this responsibility to show how many hundreds and thousands of people are behind us. And we're always really transparent with our clients that, you know, come to my warehouse, you'll see what I have and you know what I don't, and you know what I'm bringing. But I felt a stronger responsibility to really illuminate all those companies. So in just as small way as we could, our company's Instagram started posting a blurb about every tiny person involved in every piece of the event. And it kind of snowballed from there to looking at all the amazing people in our industry who are helping. You know, Name Glow out of New York is making PPE face shields. There's just some really interesting, amazing things happening out there. And what I said to my girls is I was interested in posting pretty things, but I wasn't, and I'm still not quite mentally ready yet to be posting pretty things. So for me, I'm more rough and tumble. I'm a little harsher. So I'm just going to kind of keep exposing people who are doing good and making sure people who need our help, that people are aware they even exist. So that's what we started doing early on. And I'll know when it's time to stop and switch over and start posting weddings again, but it's not quite today.
Right. Yeah. No, and I love the campaign that you've been doing, Amanda. So I put your guys' Instagram link in the comments. I showed it on the screen briefly. Be sharing everyone's Instagram too, so that way you guys can connect with everyone afterwards, after the show. So thank you for sharing that, Amanda. Cool. All right, guys. So the crisis hits. And here we are. So what are some of the things that you're doing right now to fill your time? Eddie, you want to take a minute to talk about what you're doing?
Oh, you think it's going to be a minute? Okay. Well,
I'm giving you a minute. Okay. We've got a lot to cover.
Amanda got 3 minutes. I was counting down. No, I'm kidding. I'm just making light of this whole, you know. Oh, you're so cute. There's a couple of things that I'm doing. I'm working on 2 product developments right now with 2 different companies. You know, obviously we're not going to be launching it any day soon. So we just need to look at the timing and what's going on in the world. So that, and I'm also cleaning out my space. I love decluttering, right? It as a type A personality, even though there's chaos in my office, it's all organized chaos, I call it. And so looking through business contracts, looking through our insurances, looking at ways of cutting expenses right now. How are we downsizing? I have a retail store and I have a warehouse space. Combined together, it's over 10,000 square feet of space that I have to deal with. I've got 25 employees that are on weekly doing events and dailies and all that stuff that are completely not working. So I'm trying to find a balance where I want to be healthy financially. I want to be healthy physically and mentally after this, this crap. Sorry, I didn't mean to say it in a bad way. And I've been remaining really, really positive to make sure that I'm still inspiring and creating and doing YouTube videos, and still I'm taking a different approach, right? Like and Amanda, what you're doing, and I commend you. That's a lot of, for me, it's great that you're showing everybody what, like, behind the scenes and how many people it takes and how many hours they actually work to produce an event, because people think that you just walk into the space, voila, you have that magic wand that we all have, and then we just flaunt it, and then it happens. So yeah, I'm just being really productive, cleaning out, being productive, looking at old contracts, looking at just everything about my business, talking to a financial consultant, kind of doing a cleanup, right?
Yeah.
Not only in that situation, but also trying to be super creative and positive, and not wanting my creative juices to kind of um, uh, in a rabbit hole where I'm completely going into that dark hole of being depressed, because we're all good people, right? We're givers. This is why we love what we do so much, is we're passionate. We see that we want that gas. We want that aha moment. We want that drama, especially I know CeCe does, because she's like, ah, so, um, so I'm right, girl. So, it's trying to find a balance in everything in your life, right? Whether it's the physical, the mental, the financial, I want to support my team. I want to be able to get them back, if not all of them, at least some of them back, because they
Yeah.
have families, and I don't want this thing to go on longer than it is, because it will start causing a lot more chaos. And I know we're trying to be all collected and calm, and we should be, right? We should take it a pause. But if this continues for a long period of time, I mean, I don't have anything for the next 6 months. I don't
Yeah.
have my first event until September, right?
Right.
And I have people are like, oh yeah, my wedding's in June. Yeah, it's gonna happen. I'm like, girl, we're in quarantine until May 15th. We're not going anywhere. We're not doing any weddings. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to deal with so many layers as a business owner. You're not only the creative, and you're not only the accountant. You're not only the PR and marketing. I mean, we have people around us, but you're everything. You hold all that together, all that glue. And sometimes, as a leader, owner, entrepreneur, you know, we're weak too sometimes. We come to things like we don't know the answers to some of these things,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and yesterday was one of those days. I mean, I had a good conversation with you, Yvonne, but I was like, by the end of the day, I was kind of drained, and I was like, okay, is this a bad nightmare that we're going through, and when are we going to wake up from it?
Right.
Really, I just can't believe it still. But anyways,
Yeah.
but good stuff. Remaining positive, hopefully, more than anything else, right?
Remaining positive and staying busy. CeCe, how are you? How are you staying busy?
Well, first of all, I sent out a watch party, and I just had somebody on my watch party say, CeCe, I'm panicking. I've never seen you be quiet this long. That was like just put in perspective, like the people that know me. So I'm dying over here for that. But I was kind of the same thing as Eddie and Amanda. I was in South Carolina with David Tutera speaking at an event. when all this happened. And the concept of the severity, like when you weren't at home, it didn't seem real. And I remember calling home and my husband was like, yeah, they shut down the NBA. And I was like, wow. Like, I mean, just because it Cater Source was going on also. Tons of my friends were there, so it seemed like so many of us were displaced that it took a while for the reality to hit. But once I got home and started kind of fielding out the moving, the postponing, I am a fixer. I said this the other day, we're all, I think, in the wedding industry. That's why we pick this career, is because we're doers, we're fixers. We know how to go into we were either going to be in the wedding industry or we were going to be emergency nurses or, because we just had to be like, that's how we fix the problem. Let's go. So, I mean, whether it's right or it's not, we just feel like we need to just be the Pied Piper and people are going to follow and maybe don't forget about the disaster because we'll smoke and mirror, whatever we need to do to just keep morale high. So I was the same way. I was like, what can I do? How can I help? I can't sew. I don't know how to make masks. So I just was like, I'll teach. So I have a group that had kind of not laid dormant, but I wasn't in as much because I have a paid membership group. And so I went in every floral group, every wedding group. And I was like, look, I can't give you money. I can't fix the problem. I can't help you financially. So we might be broke at the end of this, but we're going to be smarter. All right. So come on over and I'm going to teach free every day for the next 2 weeks. It's live. It's open to anybody who wants to come watch. All you have to do is come. I'll do it every single day. And I'm just gonna if we can't fix what we're our events right now, we're at least gonna come out of this smarter, more educated, more mindful, and that was how I felt, how I could help people. And so now I still do it. I just don't do it every day. But that also helped me because as much as I hate structure, I have to have structure. So I knew the moment, right? Everybody's like, yeah. So I knew the moment that I sat on the couch and just started eating bonbons, I was just going to lose it. Everything was going to fall apart. There was going to be no purpose to my life anymore. And I was going to be like Eddie was saying, be like, the industry, it's dying. We're all going to lose our jobs. And so, and even after that, then by the time it all got better, I'd be like, I don't go back to work. I'm gonna lay on the couch, stream Netflix, because that's what I've been doing for the past 4 months. So I had to keep purpose going. So I was like, let's teach, let's educate, let's give. We had my accountant come on and have people understand what the different loans look like. I have been preaching till I'm blue in the face about contracts and postponements. But that kept me going. That kept me going and inspired and educated at the same time. So it was just as much for me as it was for them. So now I'm kind of balancing that with, like Eddie said too, working on my own things. I have a program that I'm trying to get started that I've been thinking about forever, that now we have the time to work on it. And reviewing all the different things that our company has going, all the things that I told all my assistants that they were going to get fired if they didn't do it. Now I'm like, look at all this time we have. Just kidding. I don't really do that. But it's a time to clean up, reflect, because I do feel like we're going to come out of this. When we're going to come out of it, I don't know. I don't know. It would take a fortune teller to tell you, but we're going to come out of it. And when we come out of it, you better ding, ding, here's my first one. You better have your shit together, because it's going to go so fast. It's going to go so quick. It's going to be so overtime. It's going to be weddings Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, maybe. You're not going to have time to know whether you're coming or going. So you don't have time to work on things in your business. So the key here, don't squander this time. That's really what I have been, and what all of these people on this panel basically have said, is use the value. God quieted us for a reason. I truly believe that, and take advantage of it. I said this the other day, I have learned in my hardships in life that when God's trying to tell me something, it is best for me to be like, what you trying to say, so we can hurry up and get out of this. All right. So I'm like, what am I supposed to be learning right now, God? So we can hurry up and all get out of this. And so it's just a lot of self-reflection, staying busy, keeping processes and protocols going, trying to keep employees employed, trying to get loans, and trying to look at what be prepared for what the landscape's going to look like when we come out of this, because we're like death and taxes. People are always going to get married. We just have to figure out what it's going to look like after this situation that we're all in right now.
Yeah, I agree. And Penny says, I'm ready. And that's what I want everyone to feel like, especially after all these lives and all the content we're all putting out. Like, there is no excuse for you not to be ready. If you don't know how to do something, there's someone teaching it live somewhere. There's a blog post somewhere. I know. Yeah. We're all like out there. So like, yeah, no excuses. Amanda, how about you? Do you have anything you want to add about how you're filling in your time right now?
Yeah, my crazy husband who owns a distillery, got word, booze all the time here. No, got word from FDA that they could make hand sanitizer, and so that's been awesome. He took over most of my 14,000 square foot warehouse, employed a ton of my kids. My office manager has been working for him. I've been trying to take back a couple girls because I'm like, hey, we've got stuff to do too. But yeah, so he started by donating it to first responders, and it's turned into this huge thing of supplying hospitals, which is awesome and terrifying.
Yeah.
At this time that they don't have any. That's kind of my spare time. But also too, for all of you out there who have kids and still your life is kind of also the same, especially if they're young, I also just challenge you to, bless you. Your life is still the same. And you may not be Netflix and chilling and binging. You may still just be saying like, put it down, mama said no. So I get it. But yeah, spare time, hand sanitizer.
It's not just kids though, Amanda. If you have elderly parents, I told my mom this yesterday, I feel like we have role reverse. I'm like, Mom, stop, stay in the house. Where are you going? Don't touch that. Sit down. No, you can't leave. What are you doing? And I mean, I'm having a mom, a 5-year-old, a 7-year-old, and 2 78-year-olds. I'm like, y'all killing me. Yeah. I'm trying to run a business. I'm like, I can't take it.
No, it's hard. The homeschool thing, I talked with Amanda about it. It's like killing me. I'm not a teacher. I don't have patience, to teach things and go over it 20 times until they get it. I'm like, I don't know how else to explain this to you. I'm not sure what to do with this. So my heart's going out to all of our fellow mamas that are teaching our kids right now.
That's how my husband does it. Don't just be clear about that.
It's miserable. Yeah. There's some moms that love it. I'm not one of those moms. Yeah. There's a article, it's called Bleep COVID School, and that's how I feel about it. So find that article. It's funny.
Somebody posted a meme in either my Live with CeCe group or the CeCe school, one of the groups, and they said, just like that, no one ever asked what stay-at-home moms do. And I was like, that is the best quote, because now we're all like, this is what it looks like.
Yeah, not fun. That's what it looks like. All right. On to the next question. So have any of you guys pivoted your business in an attempt to find new revenue streams, or maybe you already had different revenue streams that you're focusing more on? Eddie, I know you talked a little bit about it. CeCe, do you want to start?
Yeah, I've kind of ran the gamut. One of the things my husband says about me, and I just stated it the other day, he was like, you get an idea, usually in the shower, and you just run with it. And you think everybody's just going to go with you. And I'm like, wow, because it's brilliant. And so that's like my life out of COVID-19. So now in COVID-19, I try to be a little bit more like, so guys, I had this idea. What do you think? But like you said, originally I just hopped on to the teaching train and started going in my group Live with CeCe and just teaching for free. But then I had such a cry, which this is probably the best advice I can give you, is that I assumed, you know what happens when you assume, that nobody wanted to join CeCe School right now because of what we were in. But then everybody kept talking about CeCe School, and I opened it up, and I had tons of people join it, which is a paid membership group. And I wasn't going to because I assumed that nobody wanted to invest in anything right now. And so that was a huge eye opener for me to realize that people still want to spend money. brides are still planning their wedding. They're just doing it from their couch now. And, people are just shopping on Amazon instead of going to the mall. So if you have a value of something you can give right now, people are still willing to buy it. So alternate financial, money income streams are key right now. And I saw somebody scroll and ask something about Mother's Day. The other day, my staff said, so do we want to do Mother's Day? I was like, I want to do Mother's Day. I spent 10 years in a flower shop, and I'm like, I want to do Mother's Day. I want to do Valentine's Day. I've spent too many hours. I've spent 120 hours in 1 week making it done. Like, no. And then I was like, maybe we can do Mother's Day. So, I got to thinking about that. But what I was trying to figure out is how can we take what we do best, okay? What can we, because I don't want to also combat against the brick and mortar flower shops. I don't want to diminish my brand. I don't want people, I get confused with people calling, somebody called the day, hello, can you deliver some flowers? No, I can't. I'm a special event, so I don't want to muddy those waters. So I've really just been trying to think about what can I do? And this is one of the brilliant, I thought, ideas I had yesterday is I was like, let's, deliver things that nobody wants to go out and get for Mother's Day. Instead of trying to compete with a flower shop, I'm like, let's deliver planters, like beautiful planters that I can just go to Lowe's, buy some beautiful plants, put them in planters and deliver them to somebody's front porch. Because yeah, it ain't no big deal. They could go do it, but they're not. They're in quarantine. You know what I'm saying? So, it's not brain science here. I'm not tackling anything except for delivering something to your mom that, doesn't, that doesn't want to go out, or she can't go out, or you can't visit with her. Even flower arrangements, like I said, plants, all I'm not ixnaying the thought of bringing flowers in because that'll help teaching too. So it's just, and I love that what you said at the beginning, Yvonne, is that so many of your branches are opening back up. That was my original thought because so many places had closed down. I was like, I don't know where to get flowers right now.
Right.
So with the branches opening back up and being able to have access to flowers now, I will probably add that to my docket. But I've also been like, I'm a lot like Eddie too, to where I got props out there ass around here. So you know what people can't do is have celebrations. So I'm like, let's start decorating people's yards. I am not kidding. I'm like, think about all the students that can't graduate right now, all the college, they're not going to get to walk, all the birthdays for 7-year-olds that are having to be in their house with their parents. And they're like, yay.
We do drive-by parades, that's about as good as it gets right now. Like,
right?
beep, beep, happy birthday.
Right? So I'm like, how fun would it be to decorate a yard with a big sign that said, happy birthday, Bella, with lights all the way around it and a whole bunch of flamingos stuck in it, whatever it is. We're decorators. So we just have to figure out a way to channel our decorating abilities into what can benefit people. What would people pay for in COVID-19? If I knew I could trash up my front yard in pink and all kind of things for my daughter's birthday, to whereas people drove by, they'd be like, now that's funny. I would spend money on it because I can't go do it. And there's not a lot of people out doing things like that. So not that that's the right answer for you. I'm just saying you have to figure out what are my talents, what are my skills, what do I have access to, and what do people in lockdown, what do they need? What do they need from me? And you will find a temporary, if not permanent, revenue stream to get you through. I promise, if you just sit down and think about it.
I love it. Amanda, Eddie, you guys have anything you want to add?
Amanda, go ahead.
Girl, your energy is the most beautiful thing. I'm going to let it just wash over me.
Isn't it fun?
I am not pivoting a revenue stream at this exact moment. Really, I'm just trying to support my husband right now, and I'm so grateful that he's supporting my staff.
Yeah.
I'm extremely grateful to that. So any spare time I can help him get some of that hand sanitizer out there, I'll do it. But in our market, honestly, we have amazing professionals who kind of fill in some of those gaps that CeCe's talking about. And my number one thing too is pushing them forward and letting people know, hey, my balloon person is still doing awesome balloon garlands and stuff like that. And she'll know, she'll deliver that to you. So just trying to kind of push them forward too, again, and just make sure people know, like, who can we access for this? And I applaud everyone who's pivoting. But to your first point too, we are going to come out of this. I want to make sure that I haven't confused people with my brand, and also at the same time, I want to make sure that I've been really kind to my competitive allies, and that they didn't see me step up on them during this time.
That's cool.
I'm not stepping up on anyone, despite the fact that I constantly have a scowl on my face, like I might be. But
that's why I'm calling it COVID celebrations by CeCe, because that's gonna go away.
Yeah. And I absolutely love it, and I absolutely applaud it. And CeCe, I'll call you if I decide to do something crazy like that, and then you can be like, "See, I told you." Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very good.
I love it.
Eddie, how about you? Anything you're working on, the pivoting piece of it?
Yeah. The funny thing is that we were all talking about when this was all hitting, everywhere. I was in Dubai at Engage conference, and and my friends in the industry there were getting a lot of cancellations already, and I was like, oh my God, we're fine. I've got like 4 or 5 events this weekend, and blah, 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 blah. And I mean, well, obviously it was like I was returning Thursday, and we had events on Saturday, so I had 5 events over the course of Saturday and Sunday. And I had a pre-launch of the online course that I was starting to unveil and announce, and start feeling out the audience and see where it was going. And the pre-sale, we did pretty well, actually, believe it or not. And then we stopped marketing the whole thing, right? We stopped, I was like, I don't want to talk about any creative ideas. I don't want to talk about selling my product, and I think it's so insensitive right now. What I should be doing is being the strong leader and showing positive energy, showing people that I'm really creative, inspiring them creatively. And as a matter of fact, just the other day, I had a meeting with my team. We do a whole Zoom call every week with marketing and PR and SEO and website and all content writing and stuff. And I'm like, I know it's going to sound really insensitive right now. I'm like, but people need information. I'm like, we need to push the online course a little bit more and do it. And just the fact that, not only that, I don't want to be insensitive, but I just this past couple of days, I already sold 3 courses again, right? So
they want it.
They do want it, and especially from people that are been veterans in the business. Those are the information that you have in your world. Some of them might collide together or parallel to each other. And there might be so many experiences that you've had in your business that there's so much, that's the value you add, right? It's the experience. So there's a lot of experiences that I had that you might not have had or might have had. So, so there's the 2 sections into the online course. There's the business side of it, talking about contracts and marketing and blah, 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 blah. And then it goes into there's actually my contract. You get to see my contract. You get to see my pricing. You get to see all of that, the things that you normally my NDAs, and then you have the second part, which is the creative process. How does Eddie really create? What does Eddie do? How does Eddie communicate with clients? Things like that. And then in a month or 2, I'm working on something really, really incredible that is going to be, it's not only going to be for our own industry, it's going to be for all creative people. And it's more of a do-it-yourself kind of an approach. CeCe, that's not my market and that's not your market, right? In the sense that in my own space, I'm over the top. Right. And Amanda, I'm not saying you're not over the top. I know you are. I've seen your work, but you know what I mean? I mean, you CeCe and I are probably a little bit more louder, and we want that.
Just a little.
Yeah.
Just a little.
Amanda's like probably being more refined than us. You know, I'm a little.
No.
So that when that comes out, that's going to be really exciting. So because I have two audiences, right? I have my own clients that love, adore, and want to work with me in that level, that really high end level, and then I have people that are like industry people that are aspiring to be in the field or want to be like Eddie or and then you have your do-it-yourselfers, right? The audience that I have from YouTube. I have a huge channel, you know, on YouTube. I've got like 40,000 subscribers. I just did a like, you know, if you're home here, you can do some money plans and you can do it yourself, right? And you know, or I talk about succulents. This week, I'm going to talk about how to go to the grocery store and buy an orchid plant and how to jazz it up, right? Because you go to the market anyway. So like you want to still live with flowers. So I might not have all the great sets now and all the lighting and all the great jazz, but I think I want people to know that I'm still being proactive in like being able to show the creativity that I have, the passion of what I do. I want that to be kind of like, I want that to be a fire in them to see that, hey, if he could do it, I can do it too, right?
Exactly.
And one of the things I always say is believe, become. Right? If you don't believe in yourself and you don't believe in the strengths that you have, and this can be applied to anything in life, right? Especially in the time that we're going through right now. If you don't believe this is going to be over and that we're going to come to a better, even bigger, you know, ending, watch what's going to happen. People are going to celebrate even more. You know, they might not spend as much money, but they're still going to celebrate. But
all right, I'm gonna move on, but real quick, CeCe, for people to find out, because I have the link for Eddie. Where should people go to find out about your class that you're offering?
Well, Greg just emailed it to you, so it should be in your email if you want to throw it in there. But it is, my group is live with CeCe, and it's on Facebook. But my paid group, which we are redoing the landing page, is called CeCe School. And I'm going to get him to drop you a link to both of those. But it is literally, I think Eddie and I share the same brain. You know, I'm pretty sure we were just cut from the same cloth.
Two peas in a pod.
Right.
2 peas in a pod.
Like
I think you're the female version of me, or I'm the male version of you, or something.
Absolutely. I'll send you a flower so you can put it in your hair.
I love it. You guys are so cute.
Bundled our two teachings, it would be like such the yin and yang, because I do the same thing. I give them my contract. I talk to them about how I do my finances of my company. Like that's what people, and I am just so, I mean, Amanda, I probably should know more about your teaching, but I just listened to him say that. So yet again, not taking it away from you, but there's so many people that don't teach like that, Eddie. And so not that this means anything. I'm just so proud of seeing another educator that's like, here's my stuff. Like, this is what I do. There's no secrecy. There's no veil. There's no, I'm going to pretend to be different than when I am. Like, that is what is key about me. I am not the best designer. I have an experience. Hell, I did not come back from Dubai. I mean, as much as I would have loved to say that I was there, I was in South Carolina with David Tutera. So let's look at the levels of where Eddie was like, but I was in Dubai engaged.
No, I didn't mean it like that. No, that sounded so arrogant, and I couldn't come off like that. It's
the I mean, you make all my VIP clients look like they just are just chump change, but I'm like, give you a hard time.
But no, I love what you were saying, CeCe, because you know that Sue McCleary is another one of my favorite floral educators, and she always talks about like how she just needs to share and she wants to give what's in her mind, because that way, you know, it also makes more space for being more creative and just moving on from that. She's not scared and she's not holding on to all of her secret sauce, and she just puts it out there. And that's kind of how Mayesh rolls too. You know, we're here with you guys. We want to like give you what we know. We want to help you. We want to help educate. And when you're in that space, I don't think you can really hold on to too much, because otherwise it's not authentic. It's not real.
No, and I think Amanda, Eddie, and myself, I think even just not knowing a ton about each other already, I can tell you that we are all secure enough in what makes us us, that there is no, like, I think that's what changes a lot when you hit a certain place in your business. Eddie knows that even though he's putting out a course that's similar to mine, I'm like, they don't be so vastly different. It's not even funny. And whatever Amanda teaches and takes on, it's, you can give away all this information and nobody can be you. Like, nobody can be me. Not that I'm that amazing, but I'm just saying, like,
Yeah, you are.
there's only one
Yeah, you are.
of me. And so that's why I love.
You know, CeCe, I don't want to interrupt you, but I want to say something really quickly. I remember when I first started in the business, before the internet, before we could have Googled anything, before that, you know, we would like devour any like bridal magazine that we would see or
and cutting it all up.
Yeah, and like clip it, and put it on that board and stuff. So, you know, that was our inspiration. You know, we didn't have to go on any social media like Instagram and then, you know, do a body of work, and then of course next week it's like copied by 500 people within your competing area. And I'm like, I'm glad that I'm inspiring, but I don't want to say. But here's what I was about to say is going back to like, however we're educating and what we're putting out there. I would have paid any amount of money to like learn and like hear the troubles that they went through and the mistakes they made or how they're doing it. And there wasn't anything like that. So a lot of people are very lucky that we have so many great, not only, I mean, there are great designers, but there's not a lot of good educators and there's and a lot of good, you can be a great designer and not be able, you can be a great artist and not be able to teach your art.
Right.
But we're fortunate enough to like inspire and also educate. And I would take advantage of that. You know, like I would be like, okay, I have nothing to do now. Now I need to sharpen up my skills. I need to invest in myself, right? That's what we're doing.
Yep, exactly.
We're all creating just what Eddie said. I'm like, I created what I wished I had. I know y'all are all the same way. Like we all started in a time to where there was nobody. You couldn't. The only option you had was calling your competitor down the street, being like, "How did you do that?" And they're like, "Hell no." So I mean, like, we just had to figure it out. So all of us that educate, me, Amanda, Eddie, Susan, whoever, we're creating what we would have given our kidneys to have when we started. Yeah. So there's so much value in it. Take it and run and be better people.
Yeah, and to be clear, I don't educate. It's you guys. I'm just kind of loud. I'm not an educator at all.
You've done speaking engagements though. You get into it. So
it's more bossiness. But honestly, like Mayesh was one of the very first companies that taught us how to even take care of flowers or would let it like see under the hood and be like, hey, we're not just going to sell this to you. We're going to teach you about it and help you with that. I mean, I think that was one of the main things that drew me to them is it was like, oh my gosh, someone is going to shine a light on all this shit that I know nothing about, but I want to touch it. Right. And I want to touch it all.
I love it.
Was I the only one that had this same experience? Amanda, you talked about the first time you ordered with Mayesh, so you might be the best person to attest to this. What I remember my very first experience with Mayesh was 6 years ago, like after I'd been in business for a year and realized there's got to be a cheaper way of doing this. And I had heard about Mayesh, you know, and I came from a flower background and just kind of designing everything myself. And I remember the first time I had my rep at Mayesh, they were like, well, give us your amount that you have to spend in your color palette and we'll pull your flowers. And I was like, what the hell? No. What do you mean we'll pull my flowers? What does that mean? Wait, no. You want to pull my flowers? I need pictures of what you... And then I realized that was like a thing. And I was like, oh. And then I started seeing what Mayesh pulls look like. And I was like, oh, you can trust these people. But
and I learned so much because if my dumb ass was trying to do the ordering, it would be so boring. Like, I'd be like, oh, we got so giant ranunculus. Like, what is that? but charity, and then Lindsay became my person, and Lindsay to this day schools me.
Yes.
And I'll be like, girl, just text me pictures of the weird and the cool, and then put it in my box. Like, just please.
I love you guys. You're
the
so
value in
cute.
that is epic. Like,
Thank you.
And I just couldn't get my mind wrapped around it because I didn't understand it. And then once I turned it over, I was like, okay, yeah, pull whatever you think I'm gonna need. Here's what I got to pay. This is all the money I have.
I love it. So I did post a link for my Mayesh pool in our comments. I put it on the screen for a second. You guys can check that out so that we can learn about our program. But it is something really cool. And honestly, it like started with one of our amazing reps, Kelly. She's at LAX, and she just always did this. She like had a whole Instagram, which by the way got hacked. That's a whole nother show about why you shouldn't put all your content only on Instagram. You need a website. But we like it, everyone loved it, and we like built a program off of it, you know? So like, you know, again, look for those ideas, look for things. What do people, even if it's not you, people on your team that's part of your company, and you can like build something off of it. And it's been very successful. So it's very cool.
It introduced me to flowers I didn't even know existed. Like,
yeah.
That's probably the best thing. You get so in your zone of, I just use these things. And then they would pull these things that I was like, what is that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
It was so exciting.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool.
Like, can I have the flower list of what's coming? And I'm like, I don't really know.
You don't know. It's a surprise. I am moving on. I want to point out that it's already 12:04. So, and we were not even like halfway through my notes. So that's how this is going. But it's awesome because I love you guys. I love the conversation. We'll fit in as much as possible. And then I'm just going to have to roll everything to the next.
Maybe we do a round 2.
I'm good with that if you guys want to do round 2.
We can do round 2. Amanda's like, no. Edward, you're going to have to make me put on my pretty hair and my pretty lipstick.
I know. I did have to like wash my hair last night. Yeah. No, but this is awesome, guys. I love it. So we'll probably keep on going for another 15 minutes or so, and then I'm going to have to cut it off. We have a lot of comments and questions that are in here too that are amazing. And we'll just roll with it. I also have a show scheduled for next Tuesday as well with Allison Ellis. We're going to be talking about video and live video, so it's going to be good. So if you can keep on sticking with us, that's awesome. If not, I understand, but just watch the replay because again, lots of good questions. My next question,
contract thing.
Yeah,
I'd love to hear everybody's opinion. You know, I was very passionate about that yesterday, so I think that would be good with what we're in.
Let's get into contracts. What is the best way to deal with clients? What types of clauses are you guys recommending? I know CeCe's super passionate about it. I know Amanda has been talking about contracts as well. I'm sure Eddie will have some thoughts. And so let's start with, since she's the quiet one of the bunch, Amanda, let's start with you and let's talk about contracts a little bit.
You know, a lot of my comments are less about contract addendum and more about taking this time to remember who you are as a business, what you stand for, really making a list of why your clients hire you and monetizing every piece of why your client hires you, and then studying that list when clients call and ask you to discount yourself, discount your people, discount your time.
Right.
So I you know, have spent some time being frustrated and spent some time getting a little peek into, you know, I said to Yvonne, I said, you know, the world has kind of deemed us non-essential, but already the calls are coming in saying, you're essential to me, please discount yourself to me because I now feel as though your service is kind of a humanitarian right. And so I made a really long list. And for me, one of my main things is I'm massively staffed. Because I am a horrible person, it's very difficult for me to get back to emails and to stay on task with my time. So I pay an army of people to babysit my mind
Amen.
so that I can have time to think and create, and they answer the emails and the phones, and they do. And it makes us very accessible to our clients. And it costs so much money. I mean, it just costs so much more than people can fathom. So I haven't yet really decided on a lot of contract addendums, and I'm so excited to hear what CeCe and Eddie have to say about that. But I've taken a lot of moments to think about what makes our company valuable to our client. And I've talked to a lot of other business owners to just try to encourage people to understand who you are, what you're doing, why you're worth it, and why you continue to be worth it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yes.
Ladies, I'm so sorry, everybody. I'm so sorry. I have to leave.
It's okay.
And I hate to do that. But you know, they always say, "Come, you always show up late to the party and you
And
leave
leave early."
girl." So,
No,
I'm
I
just
love
gonna
it.
say, I have to go because I need to go on to a conference call with my team. And I love you
okay.
guys. Thank you again for all of your amazing energy and what you guys are doing and what you're putting out there. Yvonne, thanks for having me.
Thank you, Eddie.
I think all three of us will be happy to come on again.
I would love to. I love it.
And God bless everybody. We're going to get through this and just be positive, everyone. All right?
And
Talk to you guys
I'm
soon.
Eddie, so we can be BFFs. You too, Amanda.
Watch my new video tomorrow. I have a new YouTube video coming out tomorrow.
All right.
You know.
I'm going to share that right now. Thank you, Eddie. Take
Bye,
care.
guys.
I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye. All right. So I just posted Eddie's video link in the comments. I will share that as soon as it pops up for me. It always takes like a second. There it is. So you guys check that out when you get it. It's a long link. So it's on the screen, but that doesn't help anyone. All right. So it is in the comments. And then let's see why. So let me just, there we go.
Oh,
now
wider.
We're a little bit wider. I love Eddie. He's amazing. And yeah, hopefully we can get together again, guys, because I love this group. All right, let's keep it going, CeCe. Contracts, girl. What do you want to say about that?
So this, to be honest with you, I get a lot of pushback on, and way more pushback than I thought I was going to get. I totally 1000% agree with Amanda. I don't feel like you can do what I'm about to tell you to do until you've done what she just said. You have to understand your value, your worth, what you give, what you bring to the table before you can basically stand behind your contract. Straight out of the gates, the number one thing I kept hearing people say and post in all these groups were, oh, well, all my brides are asking for their deposit back, and what should I do? Nothing infuriates me more than seeing that. Nothing! Because I was just like, how many times do I have to talk about this? So COVID-19, my dad is a lawyer, and he is the not fun kind. He's divorce and malpractice. So he's the kind that knows how to screw all the people, okay? And so, oh my goodness. When I first started my business, the first piece of business advice he gave me, the number one piece of business advice he gave me, because I had an episode with a client that they wanted their money back. He was like, let me talk to you about contracts. He was like, a lot of people don't know this, but contracts are two-way pieces of paper. Not only do they protect you from the client, but they are meant to protect the client from you. Anybody can break a contract. So if you choose to stay in your contract, I have a non-refundable deposit. And you, as the owner of your company, break your own contract for whatever reason. COVID-19, at that time it wasn't, because you feel sorry for them because their mom had cancer, whatever. What you have done is, in the eyes of the law, you have said, I will break my contract. For reasons. I even though I stated in my contract I would not do this, you know what? It's COVID-19. I feel bad. I'm going to give them their money back. Now, the problem lies therein is every client you had before that and every client you have after that, in the eyes of the law, if a bride comes to me and says, I want my deposit back because I just don't like that you wear a pink flower in your hair. And I say, I'm sorry, my deposits are non-refundable. Yeah, no, I heard that you gave them back during COVID-19. Yeah, but that was different. In the eyes of the law, in a judge's eyes. Now, granted, this is kind of extreme, but you can't pick and choose what you break your contract for. Whether it makes sense to us that that's stupid to break it because I wear a pink flower in a national pandemic, the judge is going to say, it doesn't matter. You broke your own contract. You said, I will not do this for any reason. And then you did. So what happened is you made your contract completely shit-ass useless.
Right.
And that's what people don't realize. Like, if you want to stay in your contract, I'll give it back under certain circumstances. Put it in your contract. But if you put in your contract, it is a non-refundable deposit, and you give money back, you are breaking your own contract and you legally open yourself up. And let's not even get started about, like, I get real passionate. Let's not even get started about the fact that you hired an attorney to literally put in your contract that you don't give deposits back. Why did you do that? To save your business. To be put in there that a force majeure or act of God. Why did you spend time putting it in your contract for when a force majeure or act of God happens and you're like, nah, it's okay. Like, no, let's just skip that. Like, why did you even waste putting it in your contract, people? Like, that's the whole reason it's in there. This is an act of God. This is a force majeure. You should have just put in there like, nah, it's fine. Everybody gets their money back. You get your money back. You get your money back. You get your money back. And the pushback I get is people are like, we should be compassionate. Guys, yes, I am not saying that you cannot stand by your contract and be uncompassionate. Like that, it's not an either or thing.
Right.
I still say, I'm sorry, I have a non-refundable deposit, but when you postpone, your deposit's already paid. Or when you decide to have your first anniversary because you didn't have look, you got a credit with me. Like whatever. Like, hey, let me give you props credits for life. Like whatever it is, you can make ways to work with your client without saying, here's my money back. And the other pushback that I keep hearing is, well, what if they leave a bad review? Great. Yes. What if they leave a bad review? You know what? What good is having a bad review for a company you don't have anymore? Like, what good is having 5-star perfect reviews for a company that went under because you gave all your money back, because you gave everybody their deposits back? Like, you will suffer such a damage and a loss in your company. It doesn't matter that you have a 5-star review because you won't have a company anymore. If I am very financially stable and run my company like to the T. If I gave every deposit back, I don't know if I could make it. I don't know if I could. I just can't. You have it. And plus that also takes what we're going through and says, yes, Chicken Little, panic. Here's your money back. You know, we have to keep saying, no. Let's not cancel. Let's postpone. We're coming. It's hashtag let's postpone. It is not let's cancel. Because let me tell you, if you run through with your bride, how much money she's going to lose in all of her deposits that she paid, not only with you, but her caterer and her planner and everybody else, it's going to be real. She's going to be like, okay, just kidding. Let's postpone. And so I just think that we need to realize that we're damaging our own company when we break our contract, trying to be better humans to people. But in the long run, what you're doing is you're choosing that over you. You're choosing that over what provides for your family, what keeps a roof over your head, what keeps your staff employed. Because when you let that go, when you devalue you, this is how it circles back around Amanda, when you devalue you by saying, I don't want to be a jerk, let me give money back, you're devaluing you, what you have to offer, what you brought to the table, all the work you already did. Like deposits aren't just like money paid doesn't mean that we haven't done anything because it hasn't been wedding day. I've already invested 80 hours probably in something that hasn't even happened yet. I mean, we do events that require teams and arsenals and subcontractors like Amanda was talking about. That money that's already been paid has long been spent in getting your wedding ready. It's not like we just dollar bills over here and we're just like living the high life. So I just need for people to really let that sink in, that who are you helping and who are you damaging if you choose to break your own contract, and are you ready for those legal implications? Let me follow it up with, you should always check with an attorney in your state because everybody's state laws are different. And I am not an attorney. I always have to say that. But that's my 2 cents.
Check with your attorney.
Yep.
Very good. That was so passionate.
Sorry.
No, I love it. I think it's so important, and I think
how we feel.
Yeah, and you guys are so passionate about how you feel, and I think it's something that everyone has to figure out and sit down and take time, and just like what Amanda's doing, and then figure out what you need to do. Like if you need to update your contracts too, like based off of learning whatever you're learning right now, I think would be great.
And like you said too, I think Amanda mentioned this. She said she's not worrying so much about addendums right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that that's another thing we need to pay attention to. To be totally honest with you, I haven't really whipped up my addendum either. But I think that's the whole second half of it, is that if you booked a wedding prior to COVID-19 and it was a $15,000 floral budget, the chances are, unless just miracles happen, the chances are that we're going to come out of this and you're going to still be able to deliver a $15,000 floral budget wedding exactly the way you had planned it is slim to none. And why? Flowers might go up. Delivery might go up. Airfare of getting it shipped might go up. It might be, Mayesh might have a price increase. You just don't know. So let's take that even out of the equation. Now your staff, if we come back to a landscape that really does look like Wednesday wedding, Thursday wedding, Friday wedding, Saturday, Sunday. Now, I only got so many people on my team. Amanda's got an arsenal, but still, if she works all of them for 5 days in a row, did we take into consideration all the overtime that you're going to have to pay? Now, did you factor that in when you quoted that wedding? No. So there has got to be some kind of crystal ball seeing into the future preparedness that we need in our contracts to let our brides know, yes, pre-COVID-19, you signed this, and this is what I said I could deliver for this. But hey, when you re-signed this addendum for postponing into 2021, hey, my prices were going up anyways in 2021. Everybody should be raising their prices. But now we don't really know what the landscape's going to look like. So I need for you to be aware that I'm not going to rip you off. Like, that's, you picked me because you trust me. But you also have to be aware to get the same thing now post COVID-19 might require a little bit more. Like, are we okay to work on that? Like, that's what you have to address with your clients going forward.
We're talking about this labor pool that every company we rely on relies on a labor pool. And let's face it, every chair company delivering, they are not hiring people who have a 501 or 401k. They're not hiring people who have months and months of savings. People are schlepping chairs and linens and all these things. It's a low paying, low education job. And frankly, we employ a structure of people who already live on a knife edge of poverty, who are now pushed beyond breaking. We don't know how much of this labor is going to be left when it's finished. I mean, people migrate during these times. They go back to where their families are.
Yep.
They go back to where they have more financial support and grouped together. I know if I were young, I would be turning tail and heading back up to where all my family is.
Mm-hmm.
So I just keep reminding people, all these gig workers, all these amazing floral contractors that we work with that come and be a part of our team. I mean, I'm very hesitant to talk to people about what I'm going to be able to do, not because of myself, but because I care for these people. I understand the infrastructure of their life, and I just understand that a huge part of that may not be the same.
Yeah.
Just huge. And so I contracted and I was kind of waiting in the wings, but waiting in the wings. But Yvonne and I have been talking about when Pat was talking about the crisis is still developing. It's still happening. So how do we make a for sure addendum or a for sure plan while it is like the earthquake is still happening?
You don't. And I mean, and I would totally, this is something that I have an appointment to talk to my dad about is, can you have like a revolving addendum? Can you have like an addendum? And I don't know the answer to this yet because I just talked about this the other day. Can you have an addendum that says, ish is going to change? So prepared. That kind of addendum, not necessarily like this is what it's going to be. It's just that I need to be open and stuff's going to change. And it's basically an evolving addendum to just be like, you just got to be prepared. This might happen type of addendum. And that's legally binding. That's probably going to be the best direction for everybody to go in because we don't know. You're so right. We're not out of the woods yet. It could get worse. It could last longer. We don't know. And so
we don't really know.
Look like afterwards.
Yeah, we don't really know. And this kind of really relates to Danielle's question that she sent in. She said, my biggest question concerns rising flower prices after the pandemic passes. She said, being a wedding florist, we quote contractual prices to our customers 12 to 16 months in advance. She's wondering if we can expect wholesale flower prices to go up in the future, and she's assuming that they're going to increase. That means her profit margin is going to decrease. Yeah. And, she's just saying, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do this in the future, and what does that look like? And unfortunately, Danielle, I don't have that crystal ball either. All I know is like what we know now, and things are going to be changing and fluid. And I think, talking to your lawyer, what CeCe's planning on doing about addendums and how does that work, and can we have like a perpetual one, and what does that look like, I think is very smart to do. And even when I was talking to Eddie, he was talking about like he has clients that are trying to lock in pricing for 2021, and you can't really allow that to happen either. It doesn't make sense. And the only good thing I feel like is that, if we're able to keep it, all goes back down to the farms, right? Like, I hope that everyone has seen our article that we've put out about the farms and about what we need to be doing. I just sent out a new article about like, now what do we do next? And it's really, it starts with the farms, but it goes down to all of you guys that are watching, and CeCe and Amanda, like, how can we get flowers sold? So that way we can support these farms. That way they're not closing down. That way, hopefully it helps with the pricing. That's my only answer right now, is we have to do everything we can to like encourage people to bring flowers into their home, which way or another. So that way we're able, like, wholesalers can stay in business and we're selling to you guys, even if it's a little bit, even if it's just turning on the faucet a tiny bit. So that way we can keep some people employed and the farms can stay open, because that is what's going to devastate our whole industry in terms of the flower piece of it. Like, if our farms start closing, then pricing is going to go up, because once people can start buying flowers, there are times where we already have a hard time like sourcing the right things, enough of it, during the crazy time. And fall is a crazy time. People were asking, I saw in the comments something about, supply and demand. Is there going to be enough if like there's 3 times the amount of weddings? And I think my advice to that is that everyone has to be flexible, and they're not going to be able to say, I need these particular things. I think it's going to be very different, the landscape, once we start. Our normal is going to be very different. And we just have to be prepared for that and think about it and communicate that. Like, just like what we're doing now, like having these conversations, I'm urging you guys to like get on your lives, get on your social, get on your blog. Please have a blog, please have a website, and talk to your people, talk to your community, talk to people that already know you, that meet in the past, in the future, right now, about what is going on and what the potentials are for your guys' relationships, and what that looks like, and what events might look like, and just how it's going to be different for everyone. That's what I'm urging.
It's such a big deal. We can, not to be so dramatic, but we cannot get in trouble and just quietly close.
No.
We have got to wave our hands in the back.
Yep.
We've got to start telling, I'm not a wedding planner. The first thing I did was talk to all my planners and say, this is what's going on. This is who's hurting. This is who might not be around. We're pushing hard to stay around, but we are not by ourselves, and we do not do this work for you by ourselves.
Right.
We put up the Mayesh, the Mayesh blog and the Mayesh information, and I was speaking to a bride and her mom about October availability of copious amounts of flowers that they're looking at, and the mom said, I watched your Mayesh blog the other day, and I cried. And I said, and I cry almost every day thinking about some of the baby flowers I love so much. And for those of us who have been in the business for a long time, we've watched that circle of availability come all the way around. We've watched, Lindsay, my girl, Lindsay, who is just a huge part of my team, my Lindsay from Mayesh. I've watched her just say, like, this girl picked it from her garden and you can have it today. We have got to tell the public near us what's happening to these things so that when events perk back up, no one is surprised.
Right.
Our clients don't deserve to be blindsided by this. We owe it to them to start talking to them about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I absolutely, and I didn't even, one of the things that you said, Yvonne, was just being like we don't know, and sharing as much as that. Like, I love that Amanda's been sharing all the Mayesh like stories and vibes, because I think the more of that out there on our personal pages, the more we don't even have to keep pounding it into people's heads, because they're just going to see it. And when your client's aware, when they're educated, it makes our job easier. And I think everybody is in a place of like, let's all work together, but you're right. We can't blindside them. They just can't be like, why is this so, I had 4 consults this week,
right,
and I quoted them out like normal. And then I thought, crap, I can't do that. Like, I had to go back and requote all of them, because I wasn't even in the headspace of what is this gonna, it's a new normal. I know everybody's getting tired of hearing that, but you've got to literally just change your mindset. And I am such a sunshine and lollipops, unicorn and glitter person. So for me to even say this, it pains me, but you've got to assume the worst. This is the one situation where you've got to assume the worst. If you miss 3 months of money coming into your business, my business, Amanda's business, Mayesh, it's going to hurt us, period. If we miss 6 months of income, it's going to hurt us. What happens if it hurts us to stay alive? We have to try to recoup that money. How do you recoup that money? You try to gain it back elsewhere. Same things with farms. Like, assume that everything is going to go up. These farms that have had to close, these farms that are going to have higher demands when we come out of it, maybe we can't get what we could. Assume the worst. And if we get the better, yay! But I think as a business owner, you have to just assume, what would this do to my business? It would make me raise my prices. So sure, they're going to raise their prices. My floor vinyl guy is going to raise his price. They're going to raise their price. You just
a ripple effect.
Yes, it's a huge ripple effect.
Yeah.
And there's a misconception that the loans are going to save us. They are a life support, and they will really help us keep our families close to us, like alive, essentially.
Yeah.
But when your client asks you, why aren't there new linens this year? Why are there no new chairs in our area? Why do I have to have the same old? If we didn't do this work of educating what people are going through, people are thinking these loans are massive, and they're thinking these loans are going to save us, and they will save us, but they will not propel us.
Right. We'll be alive. We won't thrive. Like, you could be on life support and still be alive.
Right. And we're very grateful for them. I don't want anyone to misconstrue that I'm not so grateful for it. But it's not like this is an SBA loan that's going to make me buy like 18 new couches.
Yeah.
That's not what's happening here.
Just keeping us alive. It's just keeping our doors open. And don't even get me started, because that's if you get approved and if they cover everybody's salary. And there's people that aren't. There's people, that business owners, that they're getting money for their employees, but not any money to keep them open.
Right. And for us floral people, it does not help our non-employed contractors.
Right. That help.
And we are not to actually use it for their benefit.
Right. And we're in a world, we're in kind of a very, yet again, not meaning to complain, but we're in a very awkward situation. If you're a business owner, unless you pay yourself a salary, which let's be real, most of us in the floral industry, unless you're kind of at a certain level, just kind of take money as you can, if even pay yourself a salary. Like so many beginning floral designers don't even pay themselves a salary. So unless you're on books, paying yourself a salary, you cannot even be in the PPP loan. So you're
right with a paycheck stub, unless you get a stub.
You can't be in there. So now you're only supporting your full-time staff, which who has full-time staff outside of like I do and you do, but the majority of people don't.
Right.
You know, Mayesh does, but the majority of our small floral designers, they don't have it. And if you're waiting for the EILD to come in or the PPP, you can't file for unemployment because they're not going to give you either one of those loans.
Right.
If you're saying my company's gone defunct, so I'm filing for unemployment. So it literally has created this and then they realized that they were kind of screwing a lot of people that couldn't get money as like owners. So then they opened up the sole proprietor one that you could apply for, but I'm not a sole proprietor. I'm an LLC. So it just created this whole we'll fix all these little bitty things, but the true problem, granted, no offense, government. I mean, you're trying to do the best you can, but I realized in the last 24 hours, if you're holding out on that help, don't hold out on it because so much of it was thrown together so fast. It's probably not going to even help you in the way you thought it was going to help you.
Not to mention, you have to have a PhD in this to make sure you're using it properly, apply for it properly, pray for it properly.
Right. And they keep changing all the rules of what you have to submit and I'm the most transparent human in the whole entire world. Mine got denied. I found out yesterday. Mine got denied because my salary was in it, but because of way my salary, I hadn't filed taxes yet. But yet again, they told us that they were pushing taxes back. Y'all know that. So you don't have to file today for taxes. They're pushing taxes back, but they denied it because they said you could submit a P&L. Our banker said, I think you can submit a P&L because they're pushing taxes back. And then they denied it and said, no, we won't take that. She has to file her taxes. And I'm like, but you told me we didn't have to file our taxes. And then my banker, sorry. And I don't even know if it'll go through because I don't know if they're going to accept you because you're not a regularly salaried employee. Just FYI, guys, with all the things and all the people helping, we still have to resubmit. And we were one of the first people that did it. We did it on the very first day. And so now we're 5 weeks behind the curve because now we got to do it all over again. So just be aware. I mean, I'm not trying to rain on anybody's parade. I'm just saying work on yourself and don't wait for any type of thing that you think is going to come in and save you. You have to be able to save yourself right now.
Yep. I like that. Guys, this was amazing. It's 12:30. Can you believe it?
Runaway trains.
I love it though, because it's just the conversation again is real. It's authentic. People relate to that. And even if it isn't all rainbows and glitter, it's still something to hold on to. Yeah. It still gives people hope. It's still, I think, sharing experiences like what, CeCe's I wasn't able to get it. I got denied. I think this is good stuff, even though it's not good stuff.
Right, but it's not life. You need to know.
Yeah,
I know.
Exactly.
I told you, Yvonne, I said, I'm going to swear, I'm going to cry. I'm probably not going to be too happy. I'm like the tough nugget, but I'm like the crying tough nugget. So
me too, girl.
Look, I'll be the joy. You be the reality. It will, come together.
Yeah. And let's do this again. I'll connect with you guys, see if we can set something up. Because like I said, we got maybe through halfway. There's still so much to talk about. There is still a bunch of questions that we didn't even get to, guys. Thank you for everyone that is watching. Because guys, we've been hovering around 70, 80 the whole entire time. We still have 70 people watching live. So people want this, they need this. And I just want to thank you guys for watching. And thanks CeCe and Amanda and Eddie for coming on. I love you guys. Thank you so much.
We love you so much. Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you, Amanda, for being on and just all your stellar wisdom. And thanks for having us, Yvonne and Eddie, and just for being my male counterpart. It was good stuff.
You're awesome, girl. You are such a ball of glitter.
Oh, thank you.
I know. And next time, hopefully we'll have time where you can do a little singing for us too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. I love it. All right, guys, that's a wrap on today's Mornings with Mayesh. Thank you so much for spending the last hour and a half with us. Our next show is scheduled for next Tuesday, April 21st at 11 a.m. Eastern. I have Allison Ellis of Real Flower Business, and we're going to be doing live and video. We're going to show you guys how it's done. We're going to talk about it. We're going to answer all your questions. I've been urging you all to do it. If you feel a little not sure about it, we're going to help you. In the meantime, if you have any questions about anything, whether it's COVID related, marketing related, flower related, I don't care. Send it over my way. We will get it into a show. You can email me. Hopefully you get my emails. DM Mayesh, use our contact form on the website. It all comes to me. So, and I'm your girl for this kind of stuff. We are in this together. We will get through these tough times. I wish you nothing but health and happiness for you and your loved ones. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.
Bye.